Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. I'm your host, Jalen Walker. We have a lot to unpack today, as always. Big fight card tonight. Marlon Moraes versus Cory Sandhagen. Oh, man, how good did Holly Holm look last week against Irene Aldana? Great fight to her. She's looking like 2015 Holly Holm. Usman versus Burns have been canceled for December. Also, we'll get into GSP talks with his fight against Khabib, if that's even a possibility, and his thoughts on Adesanya. McGregor versus Poirier fight is close to getting a date. And some speculations with Jon Jones and some situations going on there. We'll break it all down and much more. But first, my guest on the show today fights out of Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas, Nevada. He recently competed on Week 6 of Dana White's Contender Series, where he defeated Cameron Church. I'd like to welcome to the podcast Sherrard Blackledge. Hey, how's it going, man? How's it going? Thanks for coming on.
I can't complain.
Looking forward to talking with you.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So you fight out of Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas. It's a great gym with the likes of Roxanne Modafferi, Joanna Calderwood, and another Contender Series fighter from the season, Jordan Leavitt. What's it like fighting out of Syndicate? What's the environment going on down there?
We have a real wide variety of skill there. So being at Syndicate is a real blessing. We got from strikers to grapplers to just all around goofy fighters that you will never see like that. So you get really good looks, and you get really good work there, man. I love it over there. I love it, especially with John Wood, man. The dude's a genius. He's on some next level stuff right now. He's ahead of the curve. So
I was gonna ask you, who are your coaches, like your jiu-jitsu coach and all that out there?
Our jiu-jitsu coaches are Jerry and Shane Shapiro, the brothers, and our MMA coach is John Wood, John Gunnarsson, and Mike Powell.
Nice. And how long have they been the head coaches there?
Man, well, John's been the head coach there for since the gym ever opened. He's the owner and head coach there. Mike and John Guns, we got them recently, about a year ago, about a year ago. But yeah, man, we got an excellent team there. Everybody's looking to build everybody, so it's good vibes.
Nice. And when did you join Syndicate? What year?
I joined Syndicate about 3 years ago. Nice. Yeah, it's like 3 years ago.
And where were you before that?
I was at One Fight Team.
Okay, and where was that located?
Training under Vanderlei Silva. It was in Las Vegas.
Okay, Las Vegas also. Okay, nice.
Las Vegas. Yep.
Nice, that's awesome.
But yeah, I was under Vanderlei Silva for a little bit. For about 2 years I was there.
Legend. Yeah.
And then moved over to Syndicate.
What made you want to move, just to get a new environment?
Yeah, the gym just became very family oriented. It was just it was like a it wasn't a fighter gym anymore. It was like jiu-jitsu family gym.
Yeah, understandable.
It became like a casual gym.
You needed more competitive people and sparring partners to understand. Yeah, I understand. But yeah, you must have learned a lot there. Can't take it for granted. And
oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, man. I learned a lot of my jiu-jitsu there. A lot of my grappling there. That place taught me a whole lot.
That's awesome. So, you have a few nicknames that I saw on the internet, but the one that stuck out, and I think this is the one to go with, is Thriller. Is it true your coach gave you that nickname because you like Michael Jackson so much? Is that the truth?
I'd always listen to Michael Jackson during fight camps.
What's your go-to song when you're in the ring?
I mean, it'd be probably like Beat It.
I like it.
It's hard not to catch a little groove to that.
Yeah. I can't disrespect that. I mean, he's the king of pop. It's a good nickname though, Thriller. I haven't heard that one yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you have a solid pro record at 5-0, 2 KOs, 3 decisions, with a current 10-fight win streak, including your amateur and pro fights. What has improved the most for you since you've turned pro recently?
My cage control, like being in there, being aware of being in there, that's definitely increased a lot. Like I've gotten more comfortable with being in there, and like I think it was almost a year that I haven't fought since my last fight, and I think that I improved a lot more since my last fight on just understanding everything that you can do while you're in there and not getting caught up in the moment, and like a lot of times people will freeze basically, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, it's a lot going on, so it's like, oh my god, I forget what to do.
Did your mindset change knowing that knowing it was a 25-foot cage on Contender Series instead of the average 30 since you're at the Apex? Do you prefer the 25?
I fought in small cages my whole amateur career and pro career, so
Very true, very true.
I'm not. It doesn't bother me.
What do you prefer though, the bigger or smaller cage?
Man, either one. I mean, I engage, so I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I practice a lot in the 30-foot. We have a 30-foot at the gym, and we work a lot on cage control. So just, I mean, putting that into my game, it doesn't really matter what size the cage is, because I'm looking to cut the cage off anyway. I'm looking to you know what I mean, make it smaller anyway.
Yeah.
So a smaller cage, easier to cut people off, easier to make people make bad decisions.
Chase them and track them down and put them under pressure, force them to do something they're not willing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. And I saw one of your fights. I'm not sure what promotion it was, but you did that. You had him on the left, and I saw you kind of push your body to the left a little bit, and I pushed him right into the corner. I don't know who it was, but you hit him with like a left, and you just came with that right when he was stepping like away from you. So you pushed his body over there, but then you just clipped him, and he just fell. Like just that momentum.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it was. There was no name on it, but it was a nice knockout. It was pretty nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In your pro debut against Jordan Hayes Christensen, I think that's his name, I understand that you had very little time to prepare for this fight, and it was being on week's notice, and you had to go up a weight class. Tell me a little bit about that experience and what happened there.
Oh man, I came into the gym, and my coach was like, I was in the gym for like 2 weeks, and my coach was like, "Hey man, you're looking good. Do you wanna possibly take a fight soon?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." I didn't think that he was gonna find anything, and sure enough, they pop up. My manager came and was like, "Hey man, we got something in a week. It's this dude. It's for FSC." I was like, "Okay, whatever, let's do it. I'm always down to fight, so let's do it." But yeah, man, it doesn't really bother me. That short notice stuff, the upper weight class stuff, it doesn't really bother me, because I look at it like this. I mean, I came from straight fighting in the streets. Like when I was younger, all I did is fought. And there's never a weight class. There's never date and time. And sometimes it will be like, hey, meet you after school, see you after school, type stuff, you know. But usually everything's real in the moment. So, I mean, I'm down to fight whenever.
I feel that, and that's a lot of the new generation
really
of UFC fighters coming in, and just MMA fighters. Like, you guys are hungry, you guys want to fight, you guys are ready to fight multiple times. Like, you look at Sean O'Malley, he was supposed to fight 4 times this year, but you know, he re-injured his foot. Like, 3 fights. You got Angela Hill, she's on track 4 or 5 fights this year. Like, and Angela Hill, she's not that young, but she's just hungry. And I love that. I want to see you guys fight more often. I don't want to see you guys fight once a year and that's it. You know what I mean? Willing on the injuries that come from the fights.
Yeah, I don't see no benefit in fighting 2 or 3 times a year. No. Well, I mean, 3 times, that's cool. 3 times a year, that's cool. But fighting only 1 or 2 times a year, nah, man. Yeah. I'm trying to fight at least 4 or 5 times a year. Yeah. Like, Jesus.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? If you can dominate really, too.
I've been in the sport. Yeah, and I've been in the sport for about 5 years, and I have 14 fights altogether. So I fight about 4 times a year on average.
Yeah.
It's averaging about 4 times a year.
Where were you fighting? Because
But
Tapology didn't have a lot of your amateur fights. Where were a lot of your amateur fights taking place at?
on oh, they're all in Vegas. They're in
They were in
Vegas.
Vegas?
Yeah, every single one of my
Okay.
every single. I think Tapology has most of them on
Yeah,
there.
they
I
on
think
your
they have
amateur they only
almost.
had the tough enough against Leandro Arias and then the Thomas Rowland fight from KOTC. I don't know if it got
Oh,
lost, yeah. But maybe you should look into that, yeah, because there was only a few of the amateur fights. But all your pro fights are up there, and they're all wins. I mean, you're on a 10 streak fight, too, win streak, so that's not too bad. You know what I mean? And then your last win was on Dana White's Contender Series, so you got to be proud of that.
yeah.
That was a good fight.
Oh man.
That was week 6, wasn't it? Yeah, that was week 6. Yeah. And that was against Cameron
Yeah, man.
Church.
That was a war.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna get
That
into
was
that.
awesome.
We're gonna get into that. But that fight of your pro debut that took place with FFC, like you said. But you also fought in Square Ring Promotions and C3 Fights. What was it like with all these organizations? And do you have a favorite? Anything you learned from fighting with these organizations at all?
Oh man, my favorite would be Island Fights.
Island Fights. That's in
My
Florida,
favorite is
right?
Island Fights. Yeah,
Yeah, Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
Island Fights of Florida over with Dean Tool.
Yep.
Yeah, they were awesome. They treated me real good, and that was so sick. It was cool going down there. It's my first time to Florida.
Really? Yeah.
They made it a
Florida's
great
amazing.
experience.
I love
Yeah,
Florida.
and we were in Panama City Beach for spring break. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that must have been
Yeah,
an experience. Who was fighting on that card?
yeah.
Is it just some local people or more
Um,
people from around?
no, no, a few people that are in the UFC right now.
Who?
Mike
Oh, Mike
Davis,
Davis. Wow. Oh,
Sanganai.
yeah,
Yeah, Sanganai. He's fighting tonight
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Chase Hoop.
Chase Hooper was
Yeah,
there.
man. There was
Wow,
a bunch
I
of
love Chase
yeah,
Hooper.
Chase Hooper.
That I don't know if you saw with him and Ben Askren. Ben Askren, it was took
Yeah.
place for DC on Israel Adesanya, or not Israel Adesanya, my bad. Ariel Hawani show, and he had Ben Hooper come in.
Yeah.
And then and he's like, "Is that your kid?" And he made up this whole story that was his kid, and he didn't tell anybody. And he's like,
He
"No,
really
Ariel,
thought
yeah."
so.
And he's like, "Nah, Ariel, that was Ben Hoover. We're just here making some videos for TikTok." Like he's so funny, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
funny.
Yeah, he's a super funny dude. He's cool, cool kid. But yeah, man, we had a bunch of cool guys in the back, and it was just great energy over there from the moment, from everything, man. From the moment that we weighed in, like we all kind of like got to talking and everything too, and then we all happened to be in the same locker room, so
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
nice.
Um, but yeah, that was definitely my favorite experience. From even the promoter and everything, they were all really cool.
Just the whole
Everybody,
atmosphere,
yep,
the weather, the
yep.
timing. It had to be nice.
Everything,
Yeah.
everything was beautiful.
What
The flight's over.
what year was that?
Every this
That was
was
4 fights ago, right? That,
yeah, it was,
that was your
this
second
was
pro fight. So
yeah, my second pro. So
2000 March
it was
March
6 months
22nd,
after.
2019.
Yep.
March 22nd, 2019. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had 2 wins in 2019, and obviously with COVID, I was going to get into that. Like, there's been restrictions. A lot of fighters didn't get to fight as much this year, but I think we've got a lot more MMA this year than we've had in past years, and it's crazy to think about. Even with those 2 to 3 months off, there's just been so much. It's been every
Oh
weekend.
yeah.
It's
You
been
know what,
every
man? I said
weekend.
it. I was like, I said it like before when all this happened. I was like, you know what? This really sucks. Everything sucks. I'm not able to do my like promote. I usually do like brand ambassador work or like
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll work at like big trade shows and stuff, and all of that's been shut down. So it was like, dang, like all that's gone. But I think that my fighting is going to blow up now because of there's not much that people can do, not much people can watch
Yep.
in a fighting sport. It's just you and another person in there.
Yep.
and you can easily get that approved, like
Yeah.
you can easily get that approved, and then everybody in the world's watching this. Everybody in the world's watching this. All the flight restrictions, the talent that they're burning through right now. Like they need fresh talent. They need new people in the UFC.
Exactly.
So like this is really a blessing in disguise for anybody that really wants to do this. Like if they really want to do this, is right now is the best opportunity to go out there and prove what you got because of everybody's watching. Like after my last fight, man, my views on my Instagram and stuff, they went from like 2,000 a week to 28,000 a week. Like
Wow.
I was like, Jesus, everybody's watching right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. So it's the best time to just get out there and
Exactly.
just do this.
And Contender Series was already had a lot of hype for this season, like pre-COVID, just going into just the whole ESPN, everything with the UFC. And I just think with the limited sports, even though everything kind of came back and just kind of like bottlenecked together, but UFC still stood out. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, even
And you know
Tuesday
what?
nights, Dana White Contender Series Tuesday night was just. It was just prime time. Like ESPN Plus, it doesn't matter. People have it. It's not that expensive for ESPN Plus, and everyone's watching, and it's entertaining
You know
too.
what,
It's
man?
very entertaining.
Like I don't really hear people talking about any other sports really. Like the other sports are kind of not
Basketball a
relevant.
lot though. Basketball and
And they're
football.
yeah, basketball.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody on
But
top of that. So
baseball's
trust
even
me,
kind of fell behind. Like I didn't even realize the Yankees
yes,
got eliminated. I didn't
exactly.
even realize it. I saw it on SportsCenter. I was like, oh, okay.
Like these, a lot of other sports are like, I don't know, just not thriving as much as fighting. Because fighting is exciting. Like that's exciting. It's cool. It's exciting to go to football games. It's exciting to go to baseball games. I don't find it exciting to watch it on TV. I'd rather just watch the highlights on my phone when it's done.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna watch it on TV.
And there's a lot of people
like
out there that agree
yeah,
with
like
you. Yeah.
with the fight game, like people are throwing parties for these. People are throwing, you know what I mean? People are having gatherings and stuff for these, and everybody is streaming it. Everybody is either streaming it legally or illegally. Like everybody's watching it.
Exactly. And yeah, when you got these cards that are starting, I mean not Contender Series, but these cards that are starting at 5 p.m. and getting over at 12:30, that's your whole Saturday evening. Like that's something you can do that whole Saturday, and that's been almost every Saturday this whole year. Like I mean, I hardly go out. I mean, obviously because of COVID, but I'm not hanging out with a lot of friends on Saturdays or anything other weekends because I'm getting ready for the podcast, and then I gotta watch the fights. You know what I mean? Like it's just you got to. I mean, I went.
That's what I'm doing after this. I'm
Yeah,
going
exactly.
to my homie's house watching the fight.
Yeah, only time I went out during the Cowboy card and all that against Nico Price, that card. I was at a German beer festival and I had it on my phone, and even then I still had an AirPod and watching the fight. Like I got to. You know what I mean? It's just they're too good. You can't miss one. Even the prelims have been amazing recently. Every fight on the card, it's just been back to back to back to back. You know what I mean?
They have really, you know what it is? I think it's just because of people are really seeing how often you can fight. So they're trying to get in there and try to show like, hey man, I can fight 4 times a year. Like I can do it healthy too. Like everybody's trying to prove themselves right now.
Exactly.
So you're getting the best of everything. Like right now is the perfect time to blow up. Like it's the perfect time. It is. It's the perfect time to blow up. Like,
and especially with Contender Series coming back, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, there's just so much going on. I mean, even Bellator and Bare Knuckle Championship, even though they're not the most popular, but they're still getting watched. Like the views are going up. It's something people are interested, and that's awesome for the MMA and mixed martial. You know what I mean? It's just I'm very happy for that. But as I was saying, yeah, this year's been crazy. How has this pandemic affected your training and your mindset for 2020, and leading up to your fight on Contender Series?
Honestly, man, it's driven me. It's made me. I think it's made me a lot stronger. Like for one, I have no reason to go out and party. So there is no partying anymore. So I mean, there's no drinking, none of that, no outside influences. Just able to focus and train and train and train and train. And most of my training like 90% of my hard, well, about 80% of my hard, like very important training is one-on-one, or it could be one-on-one with a plus one. So it's easy to get around the whole COVID situation, and plus the UFC, they test us like crazy, like especially coming up to the fights, like they test. Jesus, I'll get tested like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we've had a few fighters from Contender Series on, and the testing is a big thing, and it's just it happens. They got to do it though. You know what I mean? The only thing I wish they did with testing is that like with Gilbert Burns, that before the Masvidal Usman fight, before they took the replacement, Gilbert Burns was tested. It came out positive, but then like once they booked Masvidal, they tested Gilbert Burns again, and he was negative. Or realized the first one was a false positive. So, but the NFL's doing. I think they need to do what the NFL's doing, where if you don't have to automatically wait 2 weeks, but I think there's a number of like tests you can get, but if you get 2 negatives back to back, you're good. And I think it's like a day or so you can come back. They've been doing that since training camp, and I think that should be a thing for fighters. Like if you get tested, hey, give them a chance to like see if it's a negative or a false negative, because we just don't know some of the time. And for Gilbert Burns' stake, he actually didn't have it. You know what I mean? So that cost him a title fight. And it's just very unfortunate for him. And then the fight in December between him and Usman got postponed again.
I heard.
So it's just back to back to back. Yeah, no one knows why. I'm gonna get into it a little bit after the interview, but I just don't know either. It's just weird. Maybe something happened. I mean, who knows? Who knows? You never know. It could be anything.
Yeah.
We'll get more information as time goes on, though. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So you defeated Cameron Church on week 6 of Dana White Contender Series in unanimous decision. The judges scoring the bout 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. How did you feel going into that fight? You looked really well in the fight. You were very quick and agile, and like you said, you like to move them around the octagon. But what do you think about the fight overall?
Oh man, I felt great going into the fight. We knew the dude was going to be hard to put away. We knew that he was going to be really tough. Yeah, tough dude. He's undefeated dude. So I mean, there's nothing else expected. He came out and did exactly what we expected. The game plan was to bang with him, or not bang with him, but to strike with him and outstrike him, and then if he got too aggressive, drag it to the ground and basically work from there, tire him out, get him slowing down, because the dude's pressure forward, and exactly. You can't fight on your heels the entire fight. But we did plan to fight on our heels that fight, to show that we could fight backing up and to counter an aggressive, good opponent. But I felt great about the fight. I felt really good. He showed a lot about me that I didn't know, and I look forward to my next fight. I look forward to fighting again.
No, I feel that it was a great fight. It looked like you were going to get a finish, a couple points in the fight, but it just didn't happen. But going into the fight, you and Cameron are both undefeated, so that had to be a little nerve-wracking. I mean, for both of you guys. I mean, you guys are putting both putting your streaks on the line for that contract. But you did not get the finish, like we said. And you seemed a little disappointed in that afterwards. But do you think there's anything different that you could have done to get that TKO or KO in the long run?
Honestly, man, there's always more that can be done. But I feel that I did everything that was damn near possible to do to that dude. I threw everything at him: head kicks, elbows, accurate, right on the button punches.
They were landing too. They were definitely landing.
Yeah, I threw everything at.
You were peppering them up and then going for that strike, and they were impacting him, but he just I don't know what that guy. Even with his rib, I guess his rib was injured or so. So I was definitely going for body shots and stuff. Even through that, was walking through that. Yeah, he's a tough dude.
I was feeling his body limp as I'd hit him to the body and stuff, but immediately he just come right back. He just come right back to life.
Just
he's what we call a zombie.
Zombie.
a zombie.
And but yeah, it was a good fight. It was a very entertaining fight. I thought you deserved a contract. You were steady. You kept pushing. But Dana White had this to say about you after the fight. He said he looked incredible in the first 2 rounds against a tough, durable guy. A kid like him who looked good tonight, got the first one under his belt. We'll bring him back in November. He'll get another fight. He's already done this, and now he knows if he puts the pedal to the metal in the 3rd round and go all the way, he'll get the finish. Do you agree with that? Do you think you gassed out a little bit in the 3rd, or do you think you could have done anything?
No, I played it smart. I played it
That's
like
what I
a
thought.
smart
That's what
fighter.
I was thinking.
I played it like
Yeah.
a smart fighter and like an intelligent fighter. That's an
You had
intelligent
2 rounds
fighter.
going into the 3rd.
Yeah, man, I'm winning the fight. I won the fight, but I dominated the fight. And then like why sit there and bang when both guys are tired and your opponent is still dangerous? Like there's no point in doing that. I have nothing to prove. Get the W. All right, I'll come back. Whatever. And
yeah. But I think Dana needs to start assessing that more often in his fights. I know he's looking for the KO, but I think he needs to take a step back and be like, hey, this guy was smart not to push there because he knows what this guy can do.
And I wasn't. It's not like I was panic shot.
Yeah.
I was taking panic shots. I was setting the shots up. I was being very. I was
patient.
I was showing high IQ on the fight. Honestly, I felt like I showed high IQ. That's what makes me most proud about the fight. Is that I knew when to strike and I knew when to take the shot. And I wasn't panic shooting. I was setting shots up, setting my attacks up. I was setting everything up.
Yeah, and the judges thought it was not even a close fight, except for the one judge having it 29-28. The other one's 30-27. It was obvious that you won. I thought it was strategic on your part because at any point that guy could have threw, an overhand in your blind spot and just got you right on the chin. And
especially playing with an opponent that has all his victories by knockout.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and you held him to a decision.
Like
That's pretty impressive. That's something else he didn't think about.
To control that guy, a dude that's 9-0 with all knockouts, to control him, dominate the fight.
It was impressive.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and
I thought it was a great fight.
I thought because I think it was all 4 people win. You were the only one that didn't get the contract, and I thought it was gonna be a sweep that night. Also, I was like, this is it, and just I was a little disappointed.
I had a feeling because of my record. I was only 4-0.
Yeah.
5-0 coming in, even 5-0 in the UFC is like, say you go in, you lose, you're 5-1. Who do you fight now?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
so I can understand it, and you know what? I'm not mad about it because if I look at it like this, I get a paycheck for that one, and then I get to come back in November, get another paycheck, and leave the year with a UFC contract. So
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so you fought at lightweight. What is your preferred weight class? Welter, 170, lightweight. You all lightweight? Okay.
Yeah.
I was
all
wondering.
My welterweight. Everybody thinks I'm welterweight, but all my welterweight fights are short notice fights.
And you're just.
Yeah.
How do you get the weight up for those? What do you do? What's the go to?
For
weight gain. For the weight gain. Yeah.
Man, I walk around about 175.
Oh, okay, so you only got to take that. Oh, okay. So it's just a natural weight. Okay.
Easy.
Yeah, that's simple. So those couple 2 weeks, that makes a lot. That makes a big difference. I thought you were naturally a lightweight, and then you built. So yeah. So you like what do you like about lightweight more than welter? It's just more comfortable there, able to move around easier.
It's a lot more comfortable there.
Yeah.
I mean, welterweight. If everybody sat at their walk around weight, then I would fight 170, but not everybody fights at their walk around weight, so there's going to be 205 guys dropping down to 170. Excuse me, and that's just not ideal for me.
Yeah,
that's not ideal at all because now I got to go up to 205 to cut down 70 to compete in that division. So I think I'm perfect where I'm at. I actually made 45 before also.
Really?
So I can 45. Absolutely.
How long did it take you to get to 145?
It took me a month.
A month? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. In an 8-week fight camp or whatever, you know what I mean? That's pretty nice. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. If I really want to put effort into my weight cuts, then I'll go down to 45.
Interesting. But you still think lightweight's where it's at? That's where you want to go?
Lightweight's where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I had to ask you one more time.
Yeah, no, that's where most of my that's where about 80% of my finishes are, and about 99% of my finishes are at lightweight, and most of my dominant victories are at lightweight. So
nice.
I like that division.
Yeah. Is there anybody? Say so you're gonna. Well, first off, you're on standby for a Contender series, or I don't know that situation. Have you talked to any of the promotions?
Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm 100% fighting November 17th for Contenders.
No, November 17th. Awesome, man. Yep. That's gonna be
November
awesome.
17th.
Do you know who you're fighting? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure if I'm allowed to talk.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't want to get you in trouble at all.
But I do have an opponent and everything. Everything's been signed.
Nice.
Like Dayton. Yep.
November 17th.
Excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. And what is that, a lightweight or welter?
It's at lightweight.
Lightweight. Okay. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. That's sick. So November 17th, that's the second part. This is the first time he's done this to bring it back at the end of the year because they went to Abu Dhabi. I don't know how many weeks it's going to be. Maybe like 2 or 3 or something. I have no idea. I don't know what's planned. But I'm excited for it to come back. I've been nothing to do on Tuesday nights. I need Contender series back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm itching for it to come back. I mean, having 2 events in a week for UFC is just mind-boggling. Because last year with Contender series, sometimes there wasn't anything that Saturday. It was just Contender series that week. But this year is Contender series. Oh, here's Saturday. Let's get a fight card or main. You know what I mean? It was awesome. But before I let you go, who do you got in the main card tonight against Marlon Moraes versus Cory Sandhagen?
I got Marlon, man.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, you know what, man? I like it's Cory Sandhagen, right?
Yeah, Cory Sandhagen. He's 12-2.
Cody. Yeah, I like Cory, but his striking just isn't to par with Marlon. Marlon is very explosive, and his striking is way past Cody's.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a first round knockout. I think, and I'll even call the strike. I think it's going to be a left high kick knockout.
Yeah, people are calling for the head kick. We don't get a lot of them. This is what I'm hoping, because Edmund Barbosa fights in the co-main. I hope Barbosa gets a head knockout, and then Marlon comes and they get it back-to-back head knockouts. Because they don't happen that often. This is the perfect combination to see if that. Who do you go with Edmund Barbosa and Makwan Arikani? I think that's how you pronounce his name.
The macaroon dude.
Yeah, Makwan Americani.
Barbosa, man. Barbosa is one of the top strikers on the planet.
I still think Barbosa won that fight against Paul Felder. I
thought so too.
I think they robbed him for that, which was unfortunate because I love Paul. I think he's a dope dude, but Evan Barbosa won that fight.
I think Barbosa won that fight too.
He was hurting him, really damaging him. Yeah, because he's just so strong.
Barbosa won that, and I think,
Who do you got with Ben Rothwell versus Marcin Tybura?
Marcin, got my man Marcin.
Nice.
Gotta go, my boy Marcin.
Nice. Who else is on this list?
A left kick, high kick. Hey, he might get a left high kick knockout too. That dude got a
Oh my God. If we get 3 tonight, back to back.
Got a sick left high kick.
I'm going to scream if we get 3 back-to-back TKO knockouts to the head.
Another one.
They're doing the fights early this time, too. So apparently the fights in Abu Dhabi start at 2:30, 3 a.m. Because they start at 5. Let me see. 1 second. The fights start in 30 minutes, the prelims.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second. What time is it in Abu Dhabi? Because it's so early over there. Yeah, it's 12:35 a.m. right now, actually. So the fights start at 1 a.m.
They're fighting at night? They're fighting at night?
Yeah, that's how they have to do it in Abu Dhabi. All the fights in Abu Dhabi, every fight in Fight Island is taking place in the a.m.
Oh, that's
You didn't know that?
That's
Yeah,
No,
because the
that's
time
crazy.
change, because it's 12:35 a.m. So the main event won't start until 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So that means Marlon probably he'll wake up probably around like 3 or so and come to the place and probably fight around like 7. So
Wow.
for
So
the
he probably has to sleep during the day.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing about it. That's the one thing fighters are saying, like on embedded and just in general. It's like they don't have to worry about jet lag when they get there. They just sleep, and no one wants to go out during the day in Abu Dhabi because it's like a sauna outside
So
apparently.
hot there.
So they just all sleep.
Okay.
Like with what's his name, Dominic Reyes on embedded.
Yeah.
They were just taking bike rides all throughout the night. I mean, Paul Felder does it. Everyone just rides bikes throughout the night because no one's awake. And they
Yeah.
have that whole compound of that because I think UFC got like a whole bunch of really nice hotels and there's no one in there. And each UFC fighter gets their own 2 floors for their coaches and stuff. Yeah,
Wow.
but it's crazy, man. They're
I need
fighting
me a
it.
whole floor.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get
No, that's how they.
get a
That's
short
how they
notice
have
fight
it,
out of
bro.
nowhere and get your plane ride. Maybe they just bring you up. You know what I mean?
I might fly to Abu Dhabi just just in case they need somebody. Like I'm already here. I'm already here, boss man.
Yeah, I mean they I think unfortunately they have backup fighters. They are already
Oh yeah,
prepared,
sure.
which is good, and it kind of sucks because what if the backup fighters also can't fight and then they just got to scrap it. It does suck being halfway across the world, but it is a dope environment. I like what they're doing, the whole thing around it.
Yeah, man. And they're giving a lot of fighters an experience to live for, man.
Exactly.
That's wow. I would love to go to Abu
I would
Dhabi.
love to see you fight in Abu Dhabi. I mean, he says they're gonna do it a lot, not just this year. They're gonna bring it back next year and stuff. So that's gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna be a yearly thing, and I think they'll be
Yeah, new
smart to
thing that
do
he's
that.
gonna do. He just started up a trend.
Yeah, to be honest, and I think he's developed a relationship with those guys over there in Abu
Oh yeah,
Dhabi and that
yeah.
company. And
UAE, man, and the UAE is a great people to have friends.
yeah,
Great people to be friends with.
I mean, when he went back for the second time, they gave him even bigger room and built him his own gym. And then plus his menu, they put all of his favorite things from the last time he had, and they changed the name of the menu item to like Dana's chicken sandwich. This like for the it's
What?
they love him like, and he
Wow,
just has
that is
Matt
straight
Serra there and
confused.
what's his name, the other guy, and they're just hanging out with him. They do looking forward to a fight on YouTube. They're just living life out there.
Wow,
I mean,
that's
5 weeks in
cool.
paradise, pretty much. I mean, it's in a bubble, but that's probably one of the bubbles I would want to be in. If I had to choose a
Yeah.
sports bubble, I'm picking the Abu Dhabi Fight Island sports bubble. That food looks so good. It looks so good on YouTube, man.
Oh man, yeah, man. Like they have chefs at the PI, and the food there is so
I
good,
bet. How often are you
so
at the facility? Did you ever
I haven't been there actually since the pandemic started,
since the
or
pandemic started?
since I fought.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't really ever go there.
yeah,
The cold baths and everything is all off limits right now
yeah,
due to the virus. So there's really no reason for me to go there.
yeah. Understandable, understandable. But yeah, we're looking forward to your fight on November 17th, correct?
Yep. Yes,
November
sir.
17th when Contender Series, Dana White's Contender Series returns to ESPN Plus. Um, Sherrard Blackledge, I appreciate you coming on, man. Would love to get you back on the show after your fight, after you get your contract and secure your spot in the UFC. We're rooting for you, and I hope it all goes well.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you for having me on, man.
Of course, of
It was,
course.
it
Can't
was
wait to
nice
talk
talking to
again.
you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll do this again for sure.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right. Well, see you later, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Sherrard Blackledge. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Great fighter, great guy. Looking forward to his fight November 17th on Dana White's Contender Series, ESPN Plus. All right, guys. Let's break down some of this UFC news. Uh, first off, actually, I want to get into Holly Holmes versus Irene Aldana. What a fight! She killed it. I mean, Holly Holm looked like Holly Holm when she fought Ronda Rousey in 2015. You got to give it to her. She was incredible. Dominant all 5 rounds for the decision. She couldn't get the knockout or the submission or whatever, but the whole 5 rounds, she was just explosive. Even to the bell ring in the 5th round, Holly Holmes went back and forth, just taking her time and just exploding in the right moments. And I think for Irene Aldana, who was technically, they said, the better boxer going into this fight, just couldn't handle Holly, the preacher daughter's Holmes' hands. And she came out victorious. So congratulations to Holly Holm. Glad to see her back. This shuts Irene Aldana out of a title fight, I believe, against Amanda Nunes. It does suck because this was supposed to be a fresh face for Amanda in a title fight, and if she would have beat Holly, that would have been the next fight for Amanda, most likely. But I think we need Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes. I think we need it. I think it's gonna happen. Give Holly another chance before she retires. I think she deserves it. She's on top of her game right now. She knows exactly what's going on. Other fights that night that were very interesting. You know, a crazy submission from Jermaine Durandamy against Julia Pena. Guillotine in the round 3. It was incredible. This fight was all over the place, but surprise guillotine from Jermaine Durandamy put Julian Pena asleep. It was a very tight choke. But yeah, great fights that night. We don't need to get into all of them. But yeah, Holly Holm looking better than ever. Unfortunate for Irene Aldana. Probably not going to get that title shot anytime soon now. But we'll see what happens in the future. All right, on to some interesting news with Jon Jones. All right. This is so funny. I was thinking about putting the picture on here, but I decided not to. It was just no point. But years ago, there was a rumor that Jon Jones hid from the Nevada State or from the USADA Drug Testing Association or whatever it is when they came to his gym. Rumor is he hid under the ring for 8 hours until they left. This was a rumor for a while. Chanel Sonnen told it to Joe Rogan a couple times on his podcast. But recently, as in like a couple days ago, Jon Jones came out saying, I was hiding from Nevada State Athletic Commission, not USADA, and that was years ago. I had just smoked a blunt and was afraid I would fail my test for weed. That's the actual truth. Now everyone knows everyone. I mean, that's still not good, Jon Jones. Like, dude, stop when you're fighting or whatever. Just stop doing drugs. Just stop. Like, why would you tweet that? Like, he tweeted what I just said. Like, he actually tweeted the words that I just spoke. Like, I don't know what's going on. But some stuff happened where Jon Jones also went at Adesanya again, talking about his right pec, how it's droopy. And then this is the picture I was talking about. Adesanya posted a picture of Jon Jones, half naked. You don't see anything. Half naked on the side of a ring, saying, "Well, you sleep under the cage, so get in that tighty nighty and go underneath the cage like the ugly putt-rid troll you are." I don't know what a putt-rid troll is, but the photo's hilarious. I don't know how Israel Adesanya got it, but Stylebender is destroying Jon Jones in this Twitter war. It's getting out of hand at this point. There's so much to even talk about in this short period of time. I don't want to get too into it. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that Jon Jones would actually come out and admittedly say that, yeah, I was under that ring for 8 hours. I didn't want to get drug tests because I just smoked a blunt during my fight camp. Like, I just don't know what's going on with him. I just thought it was a really bad call on his part. But Israel's tweet was hilarious. I gotta give it to Izzy, man. That dude's funny. Some more news. GSP has an interview with ESPN where he shed some light. He talked about Nick Diaz possibly being a contender if he returned to MMA. I don't think that was something he really wanted to talk about. He just got asked it, but he seems hopeful for Nick Diaz. I don't think he wants to fight Nick Diaz. He said before that it would do nothing for his career, and there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing that he can prove there. He's already beat him. But he did talk about his fight his possible fight with Khabib, stating, "The stars need to be aligned for me in order to make the Khabib fight work. Because I was very flexible 3 years ago, now I'm not really. I'm good where I am." So, who knows if he comes back? I personally think it would be a bad call for GSP to come back, but if he did get in good shape and he was able to realign his body into that technique and be able to be flexible like he used to be, and because he's a wrestler, he's a great striker, but he's a wrestler. You know what I mean? And when you don't wrestle for a while, it's not like riding a bike. I don't believe you can't just go back to that. It takes some time. So I think it would be a good fight, but for GSP's sake, I don't think it's a good choice. But that would be a crazy 30th fight for Khabib. Let's see who truly is the best, because right now these two are the GOATs. And I will say Jon Jones is up there at GOAT status, as bad as it says, as hard as it say for right now. But I think Adesanya is on the rise. And GSP agrees with me, stating, Israel Adesanya is amazing. He's a perfect fighter. We're in the entertainment business, and our job is to entertain the audience, and he's doing it very, very well. And I got to agree with him. Israel Adesanya has the potential to be the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. And he's doing great, and he's on the right track. And that's where we're going to leave it at. We just got to keep it at that. On the Usman versus Burns being called off, the UFC has explored the possibility of Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight title becoming the new main event, but that appears to be a long shot. I mean, and when I say long shot, that is a long shot to happen. I would love to see that fight. Francis Ngannou, I think, would be a different Francis Ngannou against Stipe this time. I think Stipe is going to have a lot harder time attacking Francis. Francis has much better stamina in his fight game now. But yeah, UFC officials also have kind of had the idea of Jorge Masvidal versus Colby Covington for that card, but that fight is far from making a way onto a fight card anytime. I think that'll be next year, but who knows? Who knows with Jorge Masvidal? Colby Covington, he just fought, but I can see him. Who knows? We'll see. This is the second time Usman versus Burns has been canceled. The first time came a little over a week before they were scheduled to fight at UFC 251 in July, as we know. Burns tested positive for COVID-19. As a result, Masvidal took the title fight on short notice and was ultimately defeated via unanimous decision by the champion Usman. It sucks. Really does suck for Burns. 2 title fights back-to-back that have been canceled. And for Usman, you got to give it to the man. He stepped up, won his fight, moving on. And he was ready to fight they were going to do it, but it's just really, 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 really unfortunate for Burns, because I want to see that man fight Usman. I want to see that fight so bad. So bad. There hasn't been a new date announced. They're looking for January, February. Who knows? Usman needs a little bit more time now, I guess. I don't know. But no new main event yet for UFC 256, as I said. Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson for the women's featherweight title is also booked for that card. So maybe that might be enough. We'll see. We will see. McGregor versus Poirier, locked and loaded. They're just looking for a date. Conor McGregor tweeted at Dustin, "Hello, Dustin. I accepted the UFC offer to fight you, but told them it must happen in 2020. I'm ready for November 21st. Give that card's recent injury issues, as well as any of the December dates, the 12th and the 19th. I'll also still donate $500K to the Good Fight Foundation." Poirier responded, "We'll get it worked out. Good man. We would use the donation to open a boxing MMA academy on the side of town me and DC grew up, where the tuition for the kids will be good grades." And then a little bit later, Dustin tweeted, "I fight for a lot of things, but nothing more important to me than fighting for change and giving back to the Good Fight Foundation. The generosity of Conor McGregor will help countless in need. I have accepted, Conor has accepted, and the fans demand it. Let's go," at the UFC. So Poirier tweeted out a picture of him holding the pin, saying, "I'm waiting." He's waiting for the contract. I'm pumped. We get another Conor McGregor fight by the end of the year, and we get a Dustin Poirier fight, and they're fighting each other for the second time. This is everything we could want for the close out this unfortunate 2020, but this insane fight cards that we've had these years, like this year, like so many great fights. We only got to see Conor fight for 40 seconds this year. As much as I dislike the guy sometime, I want to see him fight. But, he's possibly fighting Pacquiao also, or confirmed in January. So he wants to get this fight done now as soon as possible so he can start preparing for Pacquiao. It's just interesting, man. It's just interesting. Who knows what's going to happen? Either November 21st or December 12th, I think, is the fight. They're going to book it. It's going to happen. Looking forward to it. Poirier versus McGregor. Let's go. But finally, for news, Darren Till on Khamzat. Darren Till said, rankings have never mattered in the UFC. Khamzat, after I destroyed Jack in December, if you are still struggling to get a match, I'll give you a go at the big boys, son. This is only crazy because only a few people have called out Khamzat. No one wants to call out this kid. He is disgustingly talented in the octagon. It's insane how great he is in the octagon. But Darren Till, I got to give it to him, man. Only Damian Maia, which the fight got canceled, and Darren Till have called out Khamzat so far. No one's really called him out. Stephen Thompson, that fight's probably going to get booked, but he originally said no. He doesn't want to fight him. So, kudos to Darren Till. Khamzat, he's on the rise, man. You better watch out. Khamzat is on the rise. But all right, let's lock into this this fight card for tonight. It's a fight night. Abu Dhabi Fight Island main card. You got 6 fights. First fight, Youssef Zalal versus Ilia Topuria. It's a featherweight battle. Youssef, also known as the Moroccan Devil, is currently on a 4-fight win streak. Coming into this one, 2 wins by knockout, 5 by submission, 3 by decision. He's doing his best to stand out as a quarantine star as he's searching for his 4th UFC victory in this past 8 months. In this trio of trips to the octagon, Zalal has shown a really developed game for a 24-year-old prospect. Controlling range, he's a great kickboxer. He's good with the takedown defense, but he has to work on it. He has been taken down. But in the long run, I think the best comparison to this fight was Zala's fight with Griffin when he kept trying to take him down. But who knows? This is a whole new fighter with Topuria, who's 8-0, making his UFC debut. He has 1 win by knockout and 7 by decision. That's whew. So I think if Youssef can keep him from taking him to the ground, I think he'll be very successful here. But Topuria is currently undefeated, and he's putting a streak on the line in his debut. He's an excellent grappler, and even better submission artist, obviously with 7 submissions. But like most European prospects, Topuria earned his stripes with Cage Warriors and Brave FC. He's a dedicated grappler, having won all but one of his fights via submission, as mentioned. Interesting fight. It's all going to depend on if it's on the ground or if they stand up. But I'm going to be excited for this fight because it's going to push Topuria, I think, to show his striking game more and hopefully see if he can get another knockout, to be honest with you, or if he's going to add that 8th submission to his roster or to his record. But we'll see. But the next card on the fight card is Tom Aspinall versus Alan Badat. That's the heavyweight bout. Aspinall is currently on a 4-fight win streak heading into this fight. I believe he has 7 knockouts or something like that. I didn't look it up, in like a couple submissions. But he only has 1 UFC fight so far. Not a lot to know about him. He had a knockout victory back in July. But the fight only lasted 45 seconds, so there's really not to go on there. But in 10 strikes, he landed every single one of them. He had a significant strike defense at 66%. But as far as anything else goes in that fight, he was able to end it very quickly. And there's just not a lot to go on it. He's a dominant fighter at 8-2. But Alan Badat, 8-1. He's coming into this fight on a 2-fight winning streak. 7 wins by knockout. And 1 by decision or something. I'm not sure. But the Black Samurai, as he goes by, is making his UFC debut in this matchup. He stepped in on short notice after a fighter withdrew. He does not have a lot to go on stat-wise, which makes this a little difficult. But his resume shows that he can clearly end the fight early with his knockdowns. In fact, he has 4 early first-round finishes by KO. So dominant, very good in the striking game. Interesting to see what he's going to do here tonight. Third fight on the card, Marcus Perez at 12-3-0. He's coming off a decision loss back in November of 2019. He has 3 wins by knockout, 6 by submission, and 3 by decision. He's altered wins and losses through 5 UFC bouts. He's a difficult fighter to get a full read on, but he's willing to let a couple rounds slip and then dominate and hopefully get that KO. He's only done it 3 times as a professional fighter, but yeah, he's finished all 14 of his professional victories either by KO or submission. So I think he's going to be good standing up or going to the ground. He's fighting Dricus du Plessis. He's 14-2. Duplessis is currently on a 2-fight win streak heading into this fight. 5 wins by knockout, 9 by submission. His name is interesting. His nickname, Stelnox, I believe it is how you pronounce it. But yeah, he has a Waco K1 world champion on his waist. He makes his UFC debut in this matchup. He brings to the table good wrestling skills, as 9 of his 14 wins come by submission and have all had some form of choke. Going to be very, very, very interesting between these 2 fighters. Duplessis also has a South African K1 kickboxing champion around his belt. But Duplessis has been improving as of late and is better on his feet. I think this fight's going to be all ground game. I'm saying it now. It's going to be all ground game, and whoever can get the submission first is going to win. That's the truth. I honestly think it's going to be a great fight, but it's all going to be ground game, 100%. Fourth fight on the card, we got Ben Rothwell, 38-12 against Marcin Tybura at 19-6. Rothwell is currently on a 2-fight win streak heading into this bout. He has 28 wins by knockout. 28 knockouts, y'all. Like, what? 6 by submission and 4 by decision. Rothwell has been around for a while, as we know. 50 professional fights and a 21-year career. It's coming close to an end. We know what to expect from Big Ben. He's quick and powerful. He grinds the takedowns. He's very dangerous on those front headlocks. Really, the only question with Rothwell is either if he's in good shape or not. When he steps on the scale, which he did, you'll be able to tell if he'll be able to gas out in 5 minutes or not. And he looked in good shape, so it's looking good for Ben. He's fighting Tybura, who's also on a 2-fight win streak heading into this one. He has 7 wins by knockout, 6 by submission, and 6 by decision. Back in 2014, Tybura was on a fast track towards the title mix as a solid win streak earned him a showdown with Fabricio Verdum back when that really meant something. I mean, he was a beast back then, Fabricio. He still is. But at the time, it made sense. He has a well-rounded game, powerful kicks, and solid wrestling. Since then, Tybura seemingly lost a bit of confidence, resulting in a trio of knockout losses and generally a shakier performance. His takedowns will lead Rothwell into a dirty boxing range, I think. And Rothwell's most dangerous there, so it's going to work for his benefit. But at some point, there's a real chance the veteran locks up a guillotine off a failed shot. So we'll see. We will see. Co-main event of the night, Edwin Barbosa against Marwan Amirkhani. Good fight. The co-main event of the UFC. The body work on both fighters is going to be very apparent. They're both amazing strikers. Barbosa is currently ranked at 14th in the world at featherweight. He has 12 wins by knockout, 1 by decision, and 7, or 1 by submission and 7 by decision. My apologies. But Edwin Barbosa has gone for 1-5 in his last 5 outings, and he says he needs to win a fight, and I agree with him. I mean, he used to be a top contender. I think he still is a top contender. I think he won that fight against Paul Felder, like I was talking earlier. But it's just something isn't clicking. You know what I mean? Even if he wins that fight against Paul, he still has a decent amount of other losses. He's 20-9 in his career. But I just think something has to click again for him, and I think he'll be back up there in title contention, at least make it back into the top 10. He's such an amazing fighter. His kickboxing is outstanding, his head kicks. But yeah, Marwan Amirkhani is the guy he's fighting. He's 16-4. Amirkhani is coming off a submission victory from back in July. He only has 1 win by knockout, 11 by submission, and 4 by decision. Marwan, he gets his biggest opportunity of his UFC career, but this is a short notice fight for him. He steps in for Sodiq Youssef, who's fresh off a win over Danny Henry via first round anaconda choke. Like I said, he's 16-4. The short notice fight does concern me for Mr. Finland. That's his nickname, but I think he can take care of business. But in the long run, I think Barbosa's striking is just so dominant and so overwhelming that it's just gonna be a lot for him, and it's gonna fumble him. And if he can pick up the ball and keep running, we'll see what happens. It will be a good fight if he can. But Edwin Barbosa is a nasty striker, man. That man is all over the place. But on to the main event: Marlon Moraes versus Cory Sandhagen at bantamweight. This fight is gonna determine who's gonna fight Petr Yan for the title. And so this is a huge fight. Marlon Moraes is currently ranked number 1 fighter in the bantamweight division. He's 10 wins by knockout, 7 by decision, 6 by submission. Marlon comes in as the top-ranked 135-pounder in the world. He's gone 5-1 in his last 6 outings with the UFC. He's coming off a controversial split decision over Jose Aldo, which was an amazing, amazing fight on Fight Island last time. The MMA community largely picked Aldo to win the fight by end, considering Marlon's late-round energy depletion. Although he suffered a setback from the strap against Henry Cejudo, Marlon is considered by some to be the uncrowned champion. Some believe it, some believe it. The former WSOF veteran comes in with the distinct advantage of having champion experience over Cory. He has had many main events, headlining appearances, and 5-round bookings. However, Marlon's gas tank tells another story. The Brazilian is an early starter who looks to virtually be unbeatable in the first round. However, his explosiveness and power punching abilities deplete as the fight lingers on. Despite his gas tank, I think Marlon, he's displayed a sense of dominance like a few others, but he's skilled at cutting the cage, as like Sherrard was talking about in his own fighting game. He has a flurry of strikes. He's very evasive, so I think that's going to play in part to his favor tonight. He's fighting Cory Sandhagen at 12-2-0. Sandhagen is currently ranked 4th in the bantamweight division. He has 4 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 5 by decision. Cory Sandhagen's last octagon appearance left plenty to be imagined, as he was stopped by Aljamain Sterling in just under 90 seconds. This bout served as a title eliminator, and Sandhagen's poor showing broke his 7-fight win streak. It was a good fight, though. I remember watching that fight. It sucks. It sucks. He was looking good. He wanted that fight, and it just didn't go his way. But despite the debacle that took place at UFC 250, the Sandman has an opportunity to re-enter the mix with a strong showing. Sandhagen possesses a significant range advantage heading into the contest as he towers over his opponent at 5'11". He's seen the superior cardio and will be favored to have the fresher set of lungs. That fight has the potential to play out to Sandhagen's strength should he manage to keep Marlon's explosiveness at bay. Gonna be a good fight. All right, let me give you my picks for these fights. Youssef Zala versus Ilia Topuria. This will be a great matchup between the two excellent ground fighters with the ability to deliver solid stand-up action. Topuria has a chance to make a strong debut here, but I think Youssef Zala is going to take it. He's going to win the stand-up battle, and he's going to deliver an excellent ground game. I think he's going to win by decision. All right, on to Tom Aspinall versus Alan Badat. Going to be a great fight. Both of these fighters have really not had a lot of UFC action. Since one of them will be making a debut, while on the other end, his fight was 45 seconds. With that being said, the odds they're just not justified here enough to really pick a true winner. So this has to be going out on a limb, I think, with these two. One's 8-2, one's 8-1. But I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this out there. I'm gonna go Alan Badat, but whoever wins is gonna be by knockout. But I'm gonna take Alan. But it could be either one of them. Third fight of the night: Marcus Perez versus Dricus du Plessis. Both of these fighters have interesting resumes that make this fight difficult to decide a winner, just like the Tom Aspinall and Allen fight. Perez has a solid choice. He's an experienced UFC fighter. However, his grappling accuracy and a significant strike ratio is a bit of concern and could hurt him here. Du Plessis is expected to perform well here. There's a good chance he will. I believe he has a shot to end this fight early. Du Plessis wins via submission, I believe. Ben Rothwell versus Marcin Tybura. I'm going to have to go against Sherrard. I'm going to have to go with Ben Rothwell via knockout. Rothwell, he looks to be dominant striker. He has an impressive 28-win knockout, and that's not by accident. Look for him to add another one tonight. I think it's going to be a clean knockout. Edson Barboza versus Makwan Amirkhani. It's going to be a great fight. Both of the fighters have put a lot into this fight. You know what I mean? Amirkhani, has a great ground and pound. Majority of his wins have been by submission. But Barboza has a decent takedown defense, so he should be able to hold him off. And as long as he stays aggressive on his strikes, he should be able to wear down Amirkhani. So I'm going to go Barboza wins TKO. And finally, the final fight of the night, Marlon Moraes versus Cory Sandhagen. This matchup, whichever way it goes, will definitely be a close fight. It might not make it to decision, but the odds are very close for a great fight regardless. Sandhagen is the favorite here. Even though he is not the higher ranking of the two, he has some solid numbers everywhere you look offensively. On defense, he has a poor takedown defense, but that could hurt him later in the fight. Moraes does not have a great grappling accuracy, but if he can manage to take down Sandhagen a few times, this fight should be interesting, I think. If he can, this could lead to him wearing him down and finishing the fight through a TKO or some kind. I'm going to take Moraes wins via TKO. I think it's going to be second round. Sherrard said first, but I think it's going to be second round. But great fights tonight. It's going to be an insane card. 6 fights from the main event. The prelims actually started 9 minutes ago on ESPN Plus, and the main card is just regular on ESPN. Oh, no, sorry. Take that back. The prelims started at 5 p.m. on ESPN Plus. And the main card starts at 8 p.m. on ESPN Plus. So it is not on ESPN tonight. You're going to have to pull it up. But yeah, some good fights. Next week, Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie is going to be a big show. We got a good guest coming on next Saturday. I'll announce it this week. But yeah, look forward to Saturday. It's going to be an amazing show. Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie. I can't wait. And then after that, ladies and gentlemen, it'd be Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. Great week of fights coming up, and a week after that, and tonight. Looking forward to it. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Sherrard Blackledge for coming on. Awesome guy. But yeah, that's it for me today. I'm Jalen Walker, and this is Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. See you guys.